These are wet-dry sanding sheets from the Harbor of Freights, 400, 1000, and 2000 grit. So this is my paper tuning rig. Let's just go down here and we'll take this dull broadhead and... Could you hear that audio? Let's do it one more time and listen to the blades. Okay. Now let's take a sharp broadhead and listen to that audio again. A lot less ripping sound. And it went through a lot easier. One of the best litmus tests there are is using a rubber band and seeing if your broadhead is sharp by trying to cut it. I'll have to push on it, and even that won't cut it. So we take one that is sharp, and I'm going to go ahead and change sides. I push it. The broadhead does begin to move that out of the way, but it has no problem cutting it. This is where broadhead angle and sharpness come into play. So imagine you make a mistake and you hit an animal in a poor spot. By having that sharp broadhead and cutting the smallest capillaries at a molecular level, it increases the blood flow and maintains that blood flow for an extended amount of time. Now, just like these rubber bands cut and would shrink back up into the muscle tissue, they are going to continue to bleed because they are cut off sharply. A jagged cut, or a vein that had to deflect a lot before it started to cut, is actually going to stop bleeding quicker because the coagulants have more surface area to attach to. Now, this is super geeky stuff, but it makes a difference. Now, it may seem very elementary, but by holding the blade on top, you can lightly press and drag that blade across the sandpaper. Now, this blade is very, very dull, but at a certain point, the sandpaper will begin to make a softer sound, and it will begin to pull a lot easier. At that point, I'm going to take it and inspect it and make sure that I have grind marks all the way around the same direction and the same smoothness. Then I will switch over to the next set. Once I've made it all the way around with 400 grit, I'm going to switch over to 1000, and so on and so forth until I get to 2000. So this broadhead's worked up to 2000 grit. But to take it one step further, I have a leather strop. And you can see one side is perfectly clean and the other side has a green compound in it. Now that green compound is somewhat of an abrasive, and it's going to take this mirror finish and bring it up to a good luster. Now once again, we're always pulling away from the point, and after a handful of strokes, you will feel that broadhead begin to move just a little softer across that abrasive. That means that you have already worked that up, and it's as smooth as it's going to get. Now, when I step over to just a straight leather pad, I'm super careful and super soft pressure. I think that'll do it.